right now.
Up now, got Ed Hobbs versus Woody Wood. I'm filling in the particulars now, so just give me a few minutes. We'll just watch as they get started. Not sure who got that leg. Looks like Woody got it. That's Woody's first break. He's got a ball made. Doesn't have a good look at the two, but I suspect, yeah, he's got the short stick out. He's going airborne. Sounds like I've got a lot of echo in the back here, so I'm going to see if I can't turn some stuff down and adjust some things. See how that does. If anybody's watching there, can you tell me if you can hear the music in the background? If you can, I got to get them to turn it off. Yeah, we'll see if Woody can get through to that two, get up and over. Missed that one, so there's a ball in hand for Ed. Sorry, I'm a little distracted here trying to sort a few things out. Get this sorted out here. We'll get into the commentary a little bit better. Excellent, Jeff. Thanks, Paul. That way they can still play the music in the background and I can talk on the mic. You know, Facebook and YouTube, they don't really like it when you infringe on someone else's copyright. They shut you down pretty quick. That's got to stop. That's fine. It's got lots of room there. Thought that had a bit more speed in it. Ed's making quick work of this rack, just walking through it. If y'all can like and share the stream, I'd appreciate it. Ed's kind of stuck in the pocket there. But he's worked that out, and he'll take a 1-0 lead. It's a long race, though. Race to 11. 10 ball. Winner breaks, rack your own. Just to give you an example of where we're at, I'm going to try and zoom in here. See if I can't get a little bit better view of the challenge sheet. Yeah, didn't get a chance to, didn't actually get far enough along there to sort that out. So we'll just watch Ed break here. See what he can do on the break. Look for the 6 and the 7 to head towards the side. 7 ball on the side. Cue ball got a little loose. Not too bad though. He's bridging over the 9 a bit. Get that 1 ball past that 8. Could be off and running. I have really got to get better cameras. No real problems anywhere in this rack. Just has to keep himself in line. 4 ball goes by the 5. Does not go by the 9. Fairly standard here. He's got a little, actually he's got a little bit of a funny angle there. He's got to make sure he draws back to the side rail and doesn't lose it behind the 9. Yeah, a little bit of spin takes care of that. Nicely done. Small little window on the 6. Well, it's not that small. He shouldn't have too many problems with it. You can overhit these. Yeah, just how he wants to play this. Just spin it back out, shoot it in the same pocket. Makes sense to me. Same thing, just into the rail with a little bit of left bottom, like a touch of bottom, a little bit of left, and spin that back towards the 9. I do believe this is a run out from Ed Hobbs. That'll be 2 for Ed. Forgot to mark down that he made a ball. And that would be a run out. So switch over to the stats page. Not much to look at yet with only 2 games in the book. Both guys have made a ball in the break. Woody did scratch on a jump shot attempt, which Ed converted into a win. And then he's broken around the 2nd rack. Over to the challenge bracket. You can see where they're playing right now. Ed and Woody are right there. Yeah, darn. Window keeps moving on me. There you go. And then we're back to the main. If Ed's consistent on his rack and his break, watch that 5 ball going into that bottom middle pocket. 6 ball heads towards the top middle pocket as well. Off the horn. That's a dry break. All right, so that'll bring Woody up to the table. See if he can work his way through the problems out there. First one is the 1 ball. Looks like it's frozen on the back side of that 5. Cue ball's on the wrong side to throw that 5 into the side. At a possible safety here. Or is he looking at cutting that 1 ball into the corner pocket? I think he can cut that 1 ball into this pocket. It's tight, and you wouldn't want to if you didn't have to. But I don't see a whole lot of options for safeties. Unless he hits it straight on and hard, send the 1 ball 2 rails back up table, and run the cue ball into here. But now I'm getting crazy. I think he got him there. Thinned it, drove it into the 7, pushed the 7 out of the way. Kind of got the 7 in the row to the 2. But 2 will go to the side with a little help from the 4, no problem at all. Ed with the short stick. I think he's trying to call the 3. I didn't hear the call. I got my headset on. That was a good try. It's kind of left it all out there for Woody here. He's going to have to try and figure out a way to get back on that 2. Well, he's looking at playing the 2-7 combination. Probably his best bet, even though it's a combination. Trying to get back for that 2 off the 4 on the side is going to be a tall order. Little thin on the combination. He's got lucky to stick the cue ball back behind the 10. I think Ed's going to come back to the table with the short stick. Pretty tough to beat your opponent if all you get to do is play with the little jump cue all the time, but not much you can do. Wow, what an attempt. Just kind of set that 9 ball in the pocket now. The sound's cutting out, Rob? I've been having problems with the voice meter engine I've been using to do the audio. I know when I had the music going, it was breaking up quite a bit. I've had to turn the mic off a few times. Just because, yeah, you got a cough or something. It seemed to be possibly coming down with the cold. What Woody's really kind of stuck on that 3. He may be able to thin it and play the 5, but I think it might be too far forward. Try and cut that into the bottom left. Well, if you're gonna miss, there's worse ways to do it. I'm just gonna thin that 3 and try and leave him hooked with the 10, I think. Got there, nicely done. Well, he's got the easy kick. Pretty much guarantee he's gonna hit it that way. It's such a big target with the second rail. He may elect to jump bank it. Woody banks pretty good. Jumps pretty good. He might be looking at that now. Might be just looking at his second contact point, trying to make it a 2-rail kick. Make sure you get some separation between those. That might have the speed to get in behind the 5. Not quite. Ed stepping up to the table, looking at a 3-9 combination. Just has to make sure he keeps that cue ball under control. That's about as controlled as you can get. You just let go of the 3. I think he thought he was going to hit that 9 a little thicker. 3-ball bank side, 4-ball makes it a slightly bigger pocket. But due to the fact that it's kind of inside the horn, as much as it being out makes it a little bigger, it also tightens it up a hair. So not sure whether it's an advantage or not. That's going to go long. Woody back up to bat. You slow roll this with some spin. Slide in between the rail and the 4. Use the 7 as a stopper and play the 4 up the rail into this top right-hand corner pocket. Doesn't even need to spin. And he'll play it to the side as long as that 10 ball doesn't come into play. Yeah, Woody doesn't take a lot of time, but get the job done. Got that funny angle that kind of leads you to rest the cue ball against the rail. Just taking a second look, drains it, sets himself up for the 10. And that's 1 in the books for Woody Wood. For those of you interested in the A side, what have I done with it now? There we go. We've got Gavin Roderick is playing Roland Stock right now, and Will Hill playing Scott Brasher in the other A side semifinal. So that's the A side. On the B side, still have Ed Hobbs, Woody Wood, and Frank Roca. Back to Woody's break. 5-ball at the side pocket. That second ball into the side. If you get the speed right, it can be pretty consistent. So that'll be another one for Woody. He's got to look at the one. It's a long, tough cut down that rail to the bottom left corner. That's in there. Wiped its feet first, but it's in there. Set up on the 2. Just looking at which side of each ball he wants to go on to go forward. What way makes the most sense? Looks like he's going to run through this one. Play it back and forth out to center of the table. Gets himself pretty straight in on that 3. Just going to stop it there. He doesn't have much angle on there, so he might just stop it there and play the 6 to the other corner. And it looks like he's going to run all the way through it. That's got to hurry a little bit. That's fine. That's kind of the midway point there. Needed to be here or here. Now he's got that funny angle that we all know and love towards that side pocket. I think just the way it's lying can slow roll that in, because these tables are quick. Can get by that horn. It's really tight though. One of those ones where if you're not committed to making it and playing it off that horn, you are going to scratch. So I know I haven't done very much commentary this weekend. I've been playing a lot, but I do plan on going back and cutting all of the matches into individual files, adding commentary, and I'll post them one by one on the page. It's going to take me some time, so don't expect it to be done by the end of tonight. A little thin. And this is a tap out for the game win. If you guys have any suggestions about the stats page or anything that I'm doing on the stream, please don't hesitate to email me at kickinbilliards@gmail.com or message me here on Facebook. I don't always get to the messages right away, but I will definitely take any suggestions that you like. 4 racks deep, 2 breaks by each player. Woody's had the better success on the break with 2 successful breaks. Ed's had 1 successful break, 1 dry break. A couple of unforced errors and fouls by Woody have really been the difference in the game. The one run out by Ed doesn't hurt either. Back to the action. That was the 2 side balls. Both went into the side pockets, I believe. Just watching the replay here on Facebook. He's got a good line in the 1, just not a real good cueing position for the cue ball. And then I missed it. Yeah, it's gonna call safe. Probably just lag that 1 ball over by the 4 and leave the cue. Leave the 1 ball here. Try and leave the cue ball here. Nope, I was wrong. Wow, I think Ed might be coming back to the table. No, Eddie can see that too. Ed actually just saying as he walked by that he didn't even think it went. He thought he was safe getting it in there. Woody's got a thin cut down to this bottom left pocket. But that's thin and you're going to let the cue ball run. He's just looking at maybe some other options there, safe. Different aggressive shot maybe. I think he's just going to play safe. Play the side to side safe. Well, what I meant by the side to side safe is I thought he might leave the cue ball there and the 2 ball there, but he elected just to use the 10 as a blocker, and it worked out really well. We'll see though, Ed can jump pretty good, and I think he just went to go get the short stick. Gonna be popping this up in the air, trying to drop that 2 ball on the side. A little dicey to get shape on the 3 though. If you can put a little, and you're gonna laugh at me, but a little bottom right on this as he jumps, he might run it around. Or he could jump bank the 2. That looks like what he's going for. Jump it over, bank it this way, and then that cue ball will just naturally come up. Got the jump, got the bank, got the return safety? I don't think so. I think Woody's going to be able to see that too. That is really not a good picture. Best we can do, I guess. Have to get some decent cameras. Just needs to thin this 3 in, bring the cue ball 2 rails around back to almost where he's at. Will be nicely done. That is almost exactly where he was at, a couple inches difference. Who's got the point? Not sure what you're asking me there, Jake. It's that slow stick shot that pops that out. He elected to go a little harder, bring it back over and shoot that 5 on the side. So many shots are based on how you feel and how comfortable you are with them. I mean, there's definitely higher percentage patterns that you can use. Shot that a little quick. Wasn't quite happy with his positioner's follow through. The good news is he's got lots of angle here, so he's got enough angle here so that he can pop this out and spin over to where he's lining up to shoot that 7 in the side. And if you fall short, you don't want to, but if you do fall short, you can run it around 3 rails. He'd prefer to just lag it down to the 10. He's a little short, so he's gonna probably run this around. 7 on the side, run this around. I guarantee you it won't bend like that. But that's something about what he's looking at. It's a big shot here. He pulls this off, gets on that 10. That's going to be nicely done. A little bit too much speed. Big difference between 4-1 and 3-2. Just pot the ball, make sure you don't hit it with enough speed to scratch. Woody says he got a little bit of a kick on the last shot he took there, so he wants to get the cue ball and the object ball cleaned. We'll just hold off for a second here. Little player break. Or maybe not. Maybe David told him, no, we don't have anything to clean it with. Just gotta shoot it. There you go. So as he racks, we'll head back over to the stats page. A couple of errors by Ed, kind of let Woody back in this rack, or in this match. The guys have been breaking really well. We've had 4 out of 5 breaks. We're successful in making a ball. Just 1 second. Okay, back at it. 6 and the 4 are the 2 second balls. Let's see if he can pop one in the side. 6-4 went. 1 ball almost dressed it up at that corner pocket. You noticed at the Moscone Cup, the soft pop break with the 9-ball break, those guys were able to dress that 1 ball up by the corner pocket quite often, especially the European team. There was some breaking controversy there because apparently they were told no soft breaks. They didn't really take that to heart. But still, it was quite a lot of fun to watch. Definitely worth the $20 on DAZN. for those of us whose stream worked. I think he's looking at banking that one ball. Is he thinning it in? I'm not really sure here. Thinning it in. Use the 8 to get a better angle on the 3. Just needs to keep the cue ball clean here. Don't get it into trouble. I said clean. Don't want to bridge over the 6 either if you can help it. That's going to limit your options as to what you can and can't do. Going to have to roll it in and shoot that 6 ball into that top left or top right hand corner pocket. We have a result on the A side. Roland Stock has defeated Gavin Roderick 11-4. Roland's a 624. Gavin is a 621. So that will bring Gavin over to the B side where he will play Frank Roca. What are you taking his time on this 6? Mr. Brad Haydu, first time viewer. You lie. Welcome to the stream, Brad. If anybody can like and share, I'd appreciate it. See what Woody can do here with this 6 ball. Almost shortened that cue ball up to behind the 8. That would have been an incredible shot. Tap out from here. Nice. And that'll be 1 in the books for Woody, evening it up at 3 apiece. And I believe that was a run out. You know, some places when you're racking 10 ball, you gotta rack the 2 and the 3 on the corners. But here, they're telling me that you don't have to. A lot of us are still doing it, probably just force a habit. But we'll watch Woody snap this rack apart. Watch the 6 and the 4, the 2 second balls. They are gonna come really close to those side pockets. There's a certain speed. And if you can get that speed, they go very, very consistently. With the template rack, it makes it even more so. 6 and 4 just came a little high off the top horn of each of those side pockets. So that's a dry break for Woody. The first he's had today. I've just had a suggestion to call this tournament the Schmitty and make it a 626 and under for John Smith's 626 consecutive balls run in straight pool. It's not a bad idea, actually. Not a bad idea at all. Not really sure what Ed's looking at here. Looks like he's going to play a little safe here. Bring that cue ball into the end rail behind the 10. Didn't get behind the 10, but he did get behind the 5. The important part is to note that Woody is probably going to be going airborne. Get that cue ball up over the 5, get it to settle down before it gets to the 1. If you can keep it rolling by the time it gets there, it makes it a lot easier. Cut that 1 into the top right-hand corner pocket. Did good to get the hit. He's probably a little disappointed with himself that he didn't make it. Those aren't easy, though. Welcome to the stream, Tyler, Simon. A few of the folks that I know and I've played with up in Vancouver, BC there. I think Ed just called the 2 ball. I think that means he's going to play the 1 off the rail into the 2. Nope, Karam will carom the cue ball. I didn't mind the other way where you bank that 1 ball into the rail and then cut the 2 into the corner. That sends the 1 ball over to the top right-hand corner pocket and would leave your cue ball somewhere in the middle between the, well, this area here. Just an idea. Woody's hooked again. Gonna have to play another jump shot. Just try for a leave this time. Just try and clip it, send it back into here. Hopefully it gets caught up on the 3 and the cue ball can get down table. That's a bad line, but down table. From this vantage point with the camera, you can't really see that there's actually a fair amount of room between that 4 ball and the side rail. So bringing that cue ball off of here, really a bad idea, especially if it can get into this cluster. Leave that 1 ball here. Bringing Ed back to the table. Ball in hand. I think I'm going to leave that other camera alone for a while. It's not looking so good on the stream. Keep your cue ball in line. This is a pretty simple rest of the rack. The trickiest one will be from the 7 to the 8. I think from the 7 to the 8. Leave your cue ball here off the 6. You can play off that 7. I'll bend it around so I can avoid the pocket. But you get the idea. Oh, he went forward. Still going to leave himself that angle on the 7. Okay, he's got enough here that just running it that way makes more sense with the cue ball. Unless he's too steep and he's worried about the 10 getting in the road. Again, we're down here at the 15th Street Bar and Grill in Auburn. Staff's been great. Venue's really nice. All 7-foot diamond tables everywhere. Ed overcooked that 8 just a touch. I think if he's not careful, he could slide right by that 10 into the corner pocket, but he'll draw this off that. Should be an issue. And after a quick start by Ed, Woody is caught back up. But then Ed inches ahead again, 4-3. No, Mike, this is for 7th, 8th. The loser of this is 7th, 8th. Winner moves on to the 5th, 6th round of the brackets. And they will be playing the loser of, let's look here, Will Hill and Scott Brasher. Roland Stock is sitting in the A-side final, waiting for one of those two. So we've still got lots of pool to play today. We've got at least 4 rounds, so we're looking at a good 8 hours. Maybe it'll go quicker as we get towards the end, but we'll see. So that was a scratch on the break by Ed. Bring Woody up with a chance to run out this rack and level the score. Straight up and down the table. That's a little too straight at the 2. Just gonna thin it, send that cue ball up table. Got a little unlucky there. I think that cue ball came out past the 9. Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't look like Ed can cut that 2 ball in. So he's gonna hit it, try and send it 2 rails up to the corner. He's just playing safe. Woody doesn't have to jump over the 10 ball that much. He's almost dead straight into the corner. This is tailor-made for a jump shot and draw it right back. No worries, Mike. Anytime. Lined up pretty good. If that comes out, it's going to get blocked by the 9. No, I think there's enough room there. That 2 looks like it goes between the 9 and the 4, right directly into that pocket. That's going to be an interesting leave. I'm pretty positive that 10 ball's in the road. If not fully, then it's at least blocking half that ball. Ed's looking to see if he can spin it past that right-hand edge of that 10 and cut that 4 in. Don't think that he can. I think he's going to have to kick at it from the short rail there, or the side rail. The good news is that he's got angle. So if he does kick it, and he's just called safe. I'm not sure why. I've noticed a lot of the players are calling safe today, and you don't really need to call safe in 10 ball. If you make a ball, your opponent gets to tell you whether you get to shoot again, safe or not. So, but it does help me out with my stats because now I get to chalk that one up as a safety attempt. If you've noticed, we haven't had one push out on the break yet. That was one stat that I thought I'd keep and see how it turned out. Turns out, it looks like it's not really needed. So far, according to my records here, Ed's tried 2 safes and Woody's got out of both of them. Don't need to get ball in hand out of a safety. Thanks very much, Tom. More and more practice. You don't really need to get ball in hand out of a safety. You just need to contain your opponent. Keep them off the offense. The 4 ball slops into that bottom left corner pocket. Woody's not going to hand this back. Needs to try and get on that right side of that 6. It's all right there. As you can see, the toughest part of this rack is going to be that 8 to the 9. And he should be able to do it right here, just straight draw. He's got a little bit of angle, so that means it's going to pop off that rail. A little bit of bottom left and draw straight down to the center of the table. A little bit more angle than I thought. If he could cue this a little better, it'd be a lot more comfortable to punch that 9 into the top left corner pocket and bring that cue ball out just past the foot spot there, but he's going to have to jack up a bit or run it through. Still not bad at all. I mean, you should be able to make this 18 ways from Sunday to draw a level at 4. So like I said, as you can see with the stats page, I think I can eliminate the push-out options or push-out stats for the next one. Don't know exactly when the next one will be. I think I'm going to be popping by the tournament at the ballroom next weekend up in Langley, doing some guest commentary for Q Sports Live. Here we go. Back to the break. Watch the 7, watch the 8. 7 got kicked. 8 ball trying to get in the side. Got a little help from the 7. I didn't actually know those two were going to conspire to fall in. But that makes it another successful break by Woody. So far with 5 break attempts, he's at 80% for making a ball off the break. He's had one dry break. Each player's only had one run out so far. You'd expect to see a few runouts by the end of the set, just with this caliber of player. We're in the low 600s, so runouts are not uncommon. It's not very often any of us are going to run a 3 or a 4 pack, but it can still happen. Unfortunate miss there from Woody. We're going to call that one. Unforced. Now we're looking at Ed trying to figure out what he can do with this. He's going to thin it in, try and run it around, I guess. Nope, just going to play safe. The way he was queuing up there, I thought he was getting ready to juice it and spin that cue ball around the table. Pretty straight on this 4 ball. Gonna have to figure something out to get over for that 5. I think your best option here is to just don't get over there for the 5, and just exactly where he's looking right now, stepping up and banking that bank side. If you leave it back a little bit, you're gonna have lots of angle to run 3, 4 rails up by the 10 to get on the 6. I wouldn't let that cue ball creep forward at all. Unless you're going to spin the heck out of it all the way into the pocket. No. Wow. From being that straight. That's incredible. Ed with a 5-ball tap out. Up and down. That cue ball's going to come off that horn nicely. He's got a little bit on the wrong side of the 7. Would have been nice if it had hit that horn a little thinner and come out towards the head spot. Get the right angle on that 7. Ed elected to play the longer shot rather than trying to spin the cue ball around to get down there for the 9. He'll just play this with straight top. Want the 9 to the bottom left, run the cue ball right back up to the head spot. Well, he's not the only one. He's kind of surprised he missed that. He hasn't been missing those. So Woody coming back to the table. Just needs to draw this cue ball up table a little bit. Actually, just looking at the angle that he's got here, I wouldn't be surprised if he runs this forward off the end rail and then back out in or back up table rather than draw it. He's queuing low. He's drawing it. Just keep the cue ball clean. Don't let it fall in the sewer. 5-4. Woody coming back. Coming back to break in rack number 10. Race to 11 here at the 15th Street Bar and Grill in Auburn, Washington. It's a race to 11, $210 entry fee, 48 players. Winner breaks, rack your own. We're on day 2. We only have a few guys left. I think there's 7 players left. Gavin Roderick and Frank Roca are out there somewhere. I don't think they're playing yet, but they're a B-side match. This is also a B-side match. Ed Hobbs versus Woody Wood. They're 1 round behind. And if you see on the stream there up at the top, if you just type that challenge.com and the bracket number in there, it should pop up on the bracket for you. Okay, 5 and the 4 ball. Frequently, if the 5 and the 4 don't go, those 2 second balls, the 2 and the 3 will bank around the table and go 4 rails. I don't know if you call it frequently, but every once in a while. There's that 3 headed towards that path. It's going to get hit by the 6. Woody's scratched on the break. I'm actually surprised Ed isn't turning around. Yeah, here he comes. He's looking at it, that 1-9-10. I mean, combinations aren't easy, but that's not exactly a hard one. That 3 ball did its laundry before going in there. Stroke there, just come back far enough to see that 5, thin it into the right hand side. Got to be careful you get the weight right here, because you can easily come 3 rails and get stuck in behind the 10-9. Either play it nice and soft to just come back out to the center, or you got to run it through and around. And around. It's got to get past that 9. Kind of feel like that was my fault somehow. Two rails on the 6. Call it in the corner. Cue ball's going to come out. Cue ball's going to come out if he makes this, and he'll see the 7. That's not going to be a problem. He's going to hit it and somehow stay out. I'm still going to call that positional shot an unforced error, because he didn't really need to get stuck there. Woody's going to have a little bit of angle off this 6, but it should be just enough to come out here. Pop out for the 7. little longer than I thought, a little harder than I thought. Like I said, these tables have been playing pretty fast. And as it warms up in here, it's a little cool outside. Would have thought that would have slowed it down a bit, but still warm and dry enough in here that tables are still pretty zippy. Let's punch this 7 in, run that cue ball up and back. It's going to be pretty steep on the 8, unless he gets the weight right. That's nicely done. Don't have to do anything here but drop it in the corner. And sitting pretty with the 9-10 to the side for rack number 6 for Woody Wood. Got a nice long day of pool today, yakking about it, watching it. Yesterday I got to play for most of it. All in all, that's a pretty successful weekend for me. Sitting here talking about the pool match all the time, it gives me an opportunity to watch the break a bit more and just study how it comes apart and how the guys play the cue ball off of it. That one didn't come apart in the style that I've seen recently. The 2 second balls didn't come too close to the sides. It did make the 4 ball up here in the bottom right. Got a good look. I'm not sure if that 2, it looks like the 2 goes by the 7. 2 goes by the 7. Woody's looking pretty good to get out of this rack. 3's close to the 5. That's not going to be too difficult of a transition if he can get the right angle off of it. 6 to the 7 might be a little tricky just because of where the 6 is. That's pretty quick on that one. Might end up playing safe here. Just feather that 3, put it against the side rail, put that cue ball 1, maybe 2 rails back up onto the back side of the 7. It's a thought. It's one of my thoughts. That doesn't mean it's a good thought. Just thin that 3. Put that 3 in there. Sort of thing. Or you could thin it to make it. Not sure what he's going to do with the 5-6 though. I think that 5 is pretty frozen to the rail. Not a high percentage shot to make the 6. He might be able to bank the 5 onto the 8 though. Gotta hammer that to get that across the table on that line with that sort of cut. Might be. Yeah, he's called the 6 ball. He's going to play the combination. This would be a heck of a shot. Nice. Nicely done. It looked good right off the bat there, but then just at the end I thought maybe I'd spoke too soon. And did wipe its feet before going in, but still, that's a tough shot from there. I thought that 5 ball was frozen. The way he shot it, it must not have been, but it was not an easy shot whatsoever. Rattled a 7 ball. 4-ball run out for Ed Hobbs. 2 balls hanging over the pockets. Still got to make them. Still got to keep control of the cue ball. That didn't pop the way he wanted it. It should still be fine. It's not that tough, but you can overcut these. Especially if you start thinking about hitting it too thick and maybe scratching in the other corner. Tendency to shy away from it a little bit. But not there. Right smack in the center to crawl 1 game back. Still 6-5 for Woody. Bringing up the stats page while we wait for just a second, I guess. Just to give you a look at how they're doing. Ed's been pretty much 50-50 on the break. I must not have recorded a break there. I missed a break. Darn it. Cue ball coming out of there like a rocket. 8-ball tried to kick it in the corner, but it got free. I do believe it's a dry break, though. Yeah, that's not very wet. So with that break, that's going to make 5 attempts. It's going to be 5 attempts for Ed. He's had 2 successful breaks where he's made a ball, 2 dry breaks, and 1 break where he's scratched. Woody just working through the problems. I wonder, just looking at this, if you can play that 1 on the side, bring that cue ball 2 rails out here. I think you probably wreck on the 2 though. Pretty risky. What's the reward if you don't pull it off? Is that Glenn Hopkinson I see on the stream there? You still play? Probably still play better than I do. He did come around into that that little drawing I had there, and he did wreck on the 2. Pretty sure he's gonna. Did he? Woody just called the bank, and Ed told him it's closed on Sunday here in the U.S. Well, we'll see if Woody can open the bank. Well, that's one way to do it. He can still see that. He can still see that 3. We just got a little player break. As one of the players sorts out an issue. We'll head over to the challenge. And get it somewhere where you can see what's going on.
So there you can see Roland beat Gavin. We're still waiting for Will Hill and Scott Brasher. I can't see the coins, but somebody's got 9. Someone's got 9 over there. That's all I can tell from here. And then for the B side, you're looking at most of it. Ed Hobbs, Woody Wood, and then Gavin Roderick and Frank Roca are not playing yet. They got a bit of time. They're not in any rush. Like I said, if anybody has any suggestions for that stats page, I'd really appreciate it. Something that I can keep track of fairly easily. Okay, let's bring it back. It's almost into the double kiss territory if you're going to try and bank that 3-ball up table. Cue ball's going to come across. You end up with that double kiss area there. He's looking at thinning that 3-ball and comboing the 10-ball in from there. That's a heck of a shot. Got a little fortunate there to not give it up too much, but Ed might have a thin, razor thin cut on that 3-ball to the side. I'm going to try and get a copy of that bracket URL here. Woody trying to kick this in the side. That's a nice shot right there. I know that challenge bracket was there. See if I can bring it up myself. If you go to challenge and just type in November 30 high, it will pop up with the high stakes 10 ball. I'm working on posting it on the stream. Give me a minute here. Watch that side pocket. So often, trying to make a ball into the side pocket off that end rail is so tough, but scratch off the end rail, no problem. Do it all the time. There you go. Just posted the link to the challenge bracket. Looks like Woody's going to get another rack. Go up 7-5. That he does. And while he racks, we're going to head back over to the challenge bracket. Not a lot to tell you. Nothing's changed. They're still not done on the A side. Between Will Hill and Scott Brasher. 20-2 Sunday afternoon. Not sure what's going on out there. Some comments here and there. Here we go. Back at it. Watch the 7, watch the 8. Those two should be coming out of that rack right towards the side pockets. Cue ball pops up, stomps about a third of the way back. There you go, 7, 8 in the side. Dresses up the 1 ball almost. He's got a good look at it though. He can do something with this. Probably carom the 1 into the carom the cue ball off the 1 into the 9. Just push that 1 ball almost to the rail. Have it pop out a little bit, leave the cue ball there, and then you can run the 1 all the way down. If you got a little bit of angle, which you probably will, you'll be able to pop out for the 2 in the side. Have I lost sound again, Ken? To restart that audio engine. I'm using a new audio program. It's supposed to be an upgraded version, so I can have more feeds and more outputs. I'm not entirely sold on it. He elected to cut it in and send the cue ball for a ride. Ended up pretty nice. Just got this cut on the 1. Doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball except bring it back up and down on that line. If he comes, again, I don't see how he can have too much trouble with this 1 ball here, because the cue ball with the weight that I like to shoot it anyway. And I realize everybody's different, but that looks like it's going to be a bit thicker than I thought. Don't tuck in behind the 5. I think he's all right. I think he can still see the full side of that 2. He's looking at it a little funny. Maybe he's not all right. Looks like it's just a little bit of a twisty shot. Yeah, a little bit of siding on it. Had to let the cue ball run a bit, and now he's on the beach. Yeah, a little time needed on this one. Stuck on the rail like that. Got to hit it pure. Get the weight right, you'll be on that next ball. That's going to set up for Ed. Very similar shot to what Woody had on the 2. It's no gimme to get on that 4 from here. 7 ball is kind of marking interference on it. Ah, I see. Should have saw that. Should have looked a little deeper in that. 4 ball on the side's the call. Just needs to make sure that he runs that cue ball over to the left side of the table, because that 5 ball is going to be drifting left. Did it come clear? Came all the way clear, all the way back down. Nice control. A little bit of an off angle for that one. Just elected to try and get a good look at the 6 without having to cut it too much. Same sort of thing with the 6 to the 7. Didn't try and do too much, just get a look at it. That's not where you want to be for these ones. You still do it. Cutting that 10 ball in, got to jack up. Queuing up close to the rail. You could spin this offline. And he's good. That makes it 7-6. Woody leads Eddie. It leads Ed, sorry. Race to 11. Right now we're about 2/3 of the way through the match. That's what we're... Did I miss another break attempt? I did. I missed Ed's last one. Can't remember what it was. Gonna have to get better at keeping track of stats. Well, that's got to be a good break. Not sure. I think that 1 ball goes by the 8. If that 1 ball goes by the 8, it's just a little roll it through shot, come 2 rails. Right through here. Back up there for the 2 in this pocket here. Got the 1 over there. Just need to roll it through. 7 ball, so close to the line though. He might get stuck on that. Oh. Drew it over. Play the 2-6 combination. Again, just hard enough to bring that cue ball 2 rails out. Or do you just roll it so slow to keep the cue ball on the end rail and leave the 2 ball in front of the pocket? He elected to roll it a little slow and keep that cue ball below the 10. Probably the better way to go. Got some work to do here, getting from the 2 down to this end to the 3 up the top end of the table. Nothing a little spin can't handle. Or maybe it can't. Hooked himself on the 3. I am going to take some time after the tournament to go through these matches and try and break them down a little bit more. I don't know when my next tournament is, so I should have lots of time to really break it apart, pick it apart, and find some good stats, and then re-release it sort of thing with some new commentary. Maybe get a guest commentator in there. Jay Hickok, welcome to the stream, sir. Why aren't you over here in this? Hope everybody's doing well. Call the 3 ball bottom right corner pocket. Could be a nice kick in. Maybe not. So the fouls and the unforced errors are starting to creep up for both players. Ed's at 3 unforced errors and 3 fouls, and Woody's at 4 unforced errors and 5 fouls. He's had a few scratches in a few early games. He missed a 7 ball, looked similar to that earlier in the match, but it's good to see he's not letting that bother him and still pushing through it. That's going to be right at the halfway point. Maybe just a hair past. Still, cut it top left corner pocket. Oh, wow. Did not expect that. Yeah. Seven up. Ah, you were at the Civil War battle. I saw that tournament poster online, Jay. Well, hopefully you guys did well. Another player break. So over to the stats page while we wait. Pretty sure I've missed a few things, but like I said, I'm going to catch up on them later. Maybe redo the stats page, start watching for a few different stats. Obviously, that push out is not a useful stat, not one that anybody's really looking at or paying attention to, or even needing to use, a la me. So we'll swap that out for something else. The unforced errors are a little bit of a judgment call for whoever's doing the stats, I guess. There's some things that are just accepted misses and accepted runouts that you should be able to do or shouldn't be able to do. But Ed's back, so we'll head back to that main page. That's a good break by Ed. Got a little bit of congestion to work through. A 10 ball and a 7 foot is not as easy as you'd think. The shots are a little easier, of course, because the table's smaller, right? You're not shooting them as long. I think if you do the math, a 9 foot table has what, 40.5 square feet of playing surface, and a 3.5 by 7 has 24.5. So it's considerably more slate value on the 9 footers. And then when you take that away, playing 10 ball, it gets a little congested in there. Ed stuck right into that too. Put it right off the point of that horn. It's got fortunate to not leave Woody anything. I think his only real option here is to kick at it. Oh, what happened to that now? Kick at it from here. Try and make that 2 down here. It's a good thing I don't have to draw a straight line to save my life. If you can hit it a little thicker and just put the 2 here, the cue ball may stick around in this area and he could get a safe. Oh, he's trying for the jump shot. As I notice him chalking his short cue. On these, because you're so close, you got to get so high and then you got to get down for the 7th. It's a very small landing area. Watch for the cue ball to stay on the table. I guess he didn't have to go up too high. I thought he had to jump more of that 7 ball. No danger of blowing the cue ball off the table there. Hold on. Being asked to watch the replay. Give me a few minutes, folks. I gotta pause the stream so we can take a look at something, all right? I'm just gonna pause it. We'll start it up again. They want to take a look and see whether that 8 or the 2 move first.
We'll just watch as they get started. Not. So not leave Woody anything.
I think his only real option here is to kick at it. Oh, what happened to that now? Kick at it from here. Try and make that 2 down here. It's good to I don't have to draw. Straight line to save my life. If you can hit it a little thicker and just put 2 here, the cue ball may stick around in this area, and he could get a safe. Oh, he's trying for a jump shot. As I noticed him chalking a short cue. On these, because you're so close, you gotta get so high, and you gotta get down the 7. It's a very small landing area. Watch for the cue ball to stay on the table. I can see he didn't have to go up too high. I thought he had to jump. If you hit it a little thicker and just put 2 here, the cue ball may stick to you, and he could get a safe. Oh, he's trying for a jump shot. As I noticed him chalking a short cue. On these, because you're so close, you gotta get so high, and you gotta get down the 7. It's a very small landing area. Watch for the cue ball to stay on the table. I can see he didn't have to go up too high. I thought he had to jump more of that 7 ball here. The cue ball may stick around in here. The cue ball may stick around in this area, and he could get a safe. Oh, he's trying for a jump shot. As I noticed him chalking a short cue. On these, because you're so close, you gotta get so high, and you gotta get down the 7. It's a very small landing area. Watch for the cue ball to stay on the table. I can see he didn't have to go up too high. I thought he had to jump more of that 7 ball. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Just had to look at that a little closer. Is the audio back up and running again? Are we all right? Pretty much, Paul. That's exactly what was happening. I was leaving the stream go so I could pull up the audio file or the video file and try and run it back. We should be back up and running though. Okay, it's not exactly replay, but it's the next best thing. There is a replay function with the program that I'm using, but I not practiced at using it and don't have it set up yet, so I couldn't really implement it. Woody with the short stick out again. Just a little pitching wedge to the 2 ball in the corner. Four to the 5. Ed just working out exactly where he wants to be to see that line so that he feels confident making the 5 ball on the side and still retaining good position on the 7. Next time I do that replay, I'll try and mute the sound so that it's not piping through the internal speaker of the computer. I think that's why I was getting the echo. I didn't shut the master switch off. I just shut my mic off. Got to get clear of that 10. That'll work. He's got angle. He's going to run into that 9. So if you're going to run into the 9, pot the 8, just bump the 9, roll the cue ball out this way a little bit. Leave the 9 ball here. Keep control of him, or it looks like he's going to barge into it and knock it all the way towards the corner pocket. A little fortunate rub there. Not sure if Woody can see that 8 off that end or past that 10. He may be able to. Wow, that is. I gotta fix that camera. Yeah, he definitely had room there. I'll roll it in. So after a long back and forth battle in that 15th rack, it will fall on Woody's side of the score sheet. Mr. Hoiberg dropping by for a look-see as to what's going on today. Got Woody Wood sitting there with 8 wins over Ed Hobbs with 7. A race to 11, so we're getting close. Well, made another ball on the break. He's got a real close look at the 2. If you can be happy about something. Sorry, folks. Just trying to work on the second camera angle here. It's a better camera than it's showing, so I'm trying to figure out why it's doing that. So you watch Ed slowly work his way through the rack. That's going to go in, leave himself nice on the 8s. Got to slow down a hair. I didn't think he'd called the 9. If you're going to miss, though, there's worse ways to miss. See what Woody can do with this 8 ball here. Slice it in. If that 10 ball gets a healthy bounce, Woody's not going to be unhappy with it. That's a thin cut. Another 4 inches of bounce on that 10 ball would have made Woody pretty happy. Now, do you bank it? You cut it in. If you bank it, you can control the cue ball a little better. You cut it in, you are letting that cue ball run. Bit of a tester, as they say. So looking at the bank, looking at the cut. It's going to be obvious what he calls. He's cutting that in. It'll knock that one in to knot it up at 8. It's a race to 3, folks. Race to 3 for $150. I do believe the payouts are up. Actually, I will do a little maintenance here and see if I can post it up for you. We'll just watch Ed break here. See if I can switch the camera quick enough. He's made a couple balls. Got the 1 ball sitting out in the middle of the table there. Shouldn't have too many options here. We're going to call that a successful break. Yeah, it's going to be picking up the music in the background, I'm pretty sure now. The sound will be a little bit better.
If it is, it's not very loud. Because when you were talking, you could barely hear the music.
Yeah. Maybe we can get them to turn it down a notch or two.
Sounds fine, Jay.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, just testing out some sound issues, folks. I was trying to use an audio gate this time, and apparently it was making the audio sound a little funny, cutting in and out. So we'll turn the gate off and just make sure we don't pick up the background music in the place, and we should be all fine. That was a heck of a kick. Cutting the 10 ball, bottom left. Keep the cue ball out of trouble. And that'll get it done. We'll add another one to the win column for Ed. I'm just going to pop the payouts up on the screen there for a minute for those of you who are interested. So that's what they're playing for today. Right now they're sitting at 7th, 8th. The loser will get 300. The winner goes on to get 450 or more. 9-9. Race to 2 for 150 bucks. That's pretty quick. Getting right down to the nitty-gritty here. Set the 2 up. Just about dropped it. Got it safe, though. Woody's going to have to come out with a heck of a kick here. Got to call it in. Call it in the corner pocket. Kick it one rail. Or, if he's got room, through that 3-8. If he's got room between that 3-8, he can clip that. Now this might work. Clip it in there, touch the 2, send the 2 up, and leave the cue ball in behind the 8. He could actually thin the 2 going by. Oh, we're going to get off that camera. A little shaky. No one needs any motion sickness today. I'm sure a few players are feeling the effects of a self-induced sickness this morning. Cue ball gets in on that 8. I didn't get that tight to the 8, but it is a safe attempt so far, according to my records, and I'm sure I've missed a few. But Ed's tried 3 safeties before that I saw, and Woody was able to get out of 3 safeties. So we'll see what he can do here. These one-rail kicks for safeties are, you really shouldn't sell out on these. If you can kick to the side of the ball, you should be able to separate them. The one ball should, or the cue ball should be able to come, even if you don't make the 2, you hit this side of the 2, the cue ball's coming this way, the 2 ball's going that way. And if you can leave them separated, you've done a good job on a kick shot. If you can hook them back, well, you're probably after Reyes. Or at least channeling him for a moment. That's going to set up in the middle. Well, this is a really good opportunity for Ed here. Nothing's tied up. Keeps the cue ball clean. Should be able to pick his way through it. As long as he's got a little bit of angle, and I think he does, he can just come into the end rail and pop right back out. Just doesn't need to get far, just most of the way to the center of the table, and you're in the comfort zone. A little short, but still shouldn't be a problem. How he's going to shape this up onto the 5 is a little tricky, though. You don't want to cut it so close you come between the 5 and the 6, and then you bring that side pocket into play. But you don't want to shoot a 5-9 combination either. You may play it 2 rails, try and have that cue ball come off that second rail and slide right by the 5. He snuck it past the 5. Touch E. Bridging up over the 9 ball, probably just roll that 5 ball in. Let the cue ball trail forward up around the first diamond, and then you'll have angle on that 6 ball to the side to float down for the 9, or for the 7, sorry. I can count, sometimes I just forget. That's gonna do it. He's trying to fit between that 9. He's done a good job there. Use the 9 as a stop to get perfect shape on that 7. Just needs to roll it in, bring the cue ball up towards the head spot. Something about Bob being your uncle. It's coming straight. He's going to be pretty straight on that 8 ball. I don't think he has to do anything other than just stop right there. Oh, thought we might get a better view. We can probably see it now. I think he's still in the road. Just spin it around that 10, come out and around. And that's going to get Ed onto the hill. First one to the hill. (10-9). Just a little over 2 hours for this match, which isn't too bad. That's 120 minutes, 20 games. I don't know, can't do math in my head today. It's about 6 minutes a game, so it's not been too slow. Seems like it when you're used to races to 7 and races to 9, you go race to 11, you're like, wow, this seems to be taking a really long time, but it's just required with the extra games. 2 balls almost gone the 4 rails, 3 ball almost went the 4 rails. But that's going to be a dry break from Ed Hobbs. That's his 3rd dry break of the match. He's been pretty consistent, though. He's been about 64% or 7 out of the 11 break attempts he's had. He's made a ball and got a look at the table. He's scratched once and he broke dry 3 times. I think that 6 ball might be blocking that 1 a little bit. Should still be able to float it down there. 2 ball makes a little bit bigger pocket. Didn't even need the 2 ball. It's always nice when you got 2 5/16 inches and you pot 2 1/4 inch ball in there. Just out to the center. Just like that. Now if he's dead straight, he doesn't have to do anything here. He can just hold that cue ball, and he's got the 4 on the side. I think he's got a little bit of angle, so he just wants to make sure he doesn't drift forward ahead of the 10. Yeah, he didn't have very much angle. He was good. Play the 4 ball inside, 1 rail, pop out, 5 ball, same pocket. It's just a little bit to the offside of the pocket line there. He's going to have to draw this back and shoot the 6 in the top left corner. That could have been his plan all along. Maybe that angle to the side, he doesn't like it so much. Kind of hampered his cueing here with the 9. Oh, maybe he can cue around the side of it. He's not liking it. Yeah, it's one of the things I noticed about the Moscone Cup and then the World 10 ball, the Predator 10 ball earlier this year in the summer. Most of the time when the pros were having a hard time making a ball, it wasn't because they were hooked. It was because they were jacked up over another ball. That was where most of the misses came from. Yeah, I mean, they still missed when they were kicking, but they were still hitting the right side of the ball, you know, without a good look at a pocket. But when they've got a good look at a pocket and they're jacked up, it makes that shot so much harder. Just got to stop the heart from pounding. Calm down. Visualize the 10 ball going into that corner pocket. Get all the doubts out of your head and drop it. Hill, hill. There we go. 20 racks played, 1 game to move on in the tournament. Difference of $150 in prize money on the line. Let's see who emerges with the win. And of course, we're going to have a little player break. You got to like Hill Hill. Bring up the stats page. We've got a few. As you can see, Woody's break's been pretty consistent, 78%. He's made a ball on the break. Ed's has been pretty good too at 64%. They've got the same number of successful breaks, but Ed's had 2 additional attempts. Dry breaks, only 1 for Woody, 3 for Ed. They've both scratched on the break once. Unforced errors, Ed's had a few, Woody's had a few. Fouls committed. Woody's had a few more. He almost doubled the number of fouls, but just still seems to be able to, or at least has been able to stay up there and get it to the hill. Normally you making double the fouls. You're not doing as well as you could be. But it's on the hill. We're just waiting for the players to come back. As you can see with the A side, Will Hill versus Roland Stock. I thought I saw them playing somewhere, but I'm not correct. So they're not playing yet. I do see Gavin Roderick and Frank Roca playing right now. Not sure what the score is, but Frank just drilled a 10 ball in the corner. Oh, he's actually not playing Gavin. He's just playing Will for some reason. But on the B side, you've got Ed and Woody just about finished here. The winner will face off against Scott Brasher. They'll probably start Gavin and Frank at the same time, get those two B-side matches rolling, as well as that final A-side match between Will and Roland. And we're back. We'll take that player break sign off of there. See what we can do. We'll see if Woody can continue his success on the break. Watch the 4, watch the 6. And for fun, watch the 2 and the 3 and see if they wrap around the table without getting kicked and find a home in one of those bottom corner pockets. That 1 ball's coming at that cue ball. I thought for sure that 1 ball was going to knock that cue ball in the corner pocket, but they seem to have traded places, and Woody is not unhappy about it. Picking the template off the table. They won't need it again. This is the last rack. Woody's pretty touchy on that 1. Wonder how he's going to get around for the 3. Thin that 1 end, bring the cue ball 2 rails in between the 5, 6. Head it out towards the 7. Got to make sure you get the weight right. Do not want to get offline and put that cue ball into the side pocket. He's going to go the other way. Yeah. Okay, Ed calling a ref because so tight to that 1. So we'll just see how we're doing here. I would be inclined to shoot it the other way just to get that cue ball away from the rail because he's only got about a ½ inch to stroke it here. Did a great job. I didn't even think about it, but at the same time, it makes total sense now that I see what he's done. Didn't have to run the cue ball anywhere, just thin the 1 in. He can play that 3 all the way down the rail. He's got a little bit of angle. He should float out past the 7 for the 5 in the top right corner pocket. And he's missed it. Hit it too full in the face. Gotta bring Ed to the table. 7 balls away from advancing in the tournament. And he's got to look at the 3. That 7 ball's not in the road. Doesn't need to do much, just pot the ball. That's going to leave him angle on that 5. You got the nerves going, the heart pounding, knowing you're close to advancing. Just trying to control it all and keep playing the way you know you can. 8 ball could be a tricky little ball. It's in that awkward spot on the table. It's not too bad because it is ahead of the side pocket. I think if you had the angle that he has now, you could still shoot it. Well, I'm not sure exactly what his plan is here. He may try and draw right off of it. Yeah, it looks like he's jacking up. He's going to try and draw that cue ball between the 8 and 9 towards this chalk on the table there. Did it nicely. He's got angle to come out for that 9. That might be the shot of the rack. Nice and clean. That was pretty clean. One rail or two? Probably two rails. End up right here. May elect to go one rail. Either way, that is the end of it. Mr. Ed Hobbs advances in the tournament with a score of 11-10. Okay, just a quick review of the stats for everybody who's keeping an eye on them. Story of the match was definitely the unforced errors by Woody. Other than that, nothing was too far off. If Woody had the advantage in the brakes and in the, you had fewer dry brakes, but not a huge advantage. But that's it. We have another match coming up real soon. And as soon as we get there, I'll restart the stream. I'll restart the stream fairly quickly here and just leave it on the opening credits. And we'll be back soon.